Our next subject is versioning, or creating different versions of the same product. And now you're probably going to ask yourself why to do it. Why should I create a few versions of my digital product? Well, first of all, it's easy. I mean, think about producers of physical goods. If they want to create a few versions of that good, they will probably need to invest in new machines or even new technology and so on. However, when we talk about a digital good, it is usually only playing a bit with the code. It's usually very easy. So first of all, versioning, creating different versions of digital goods is quite easy. Why not do it? But perhaps most importantly, when you create different versions of your product, you create more value. Put it in the most simple terms. Instead of selling one product, you sell a few products. You have two or three different products. And you can adjust these products to different market segments. In other words, you can adjust these versions to different customer needs. So it's very common. You see it in many products that you use. Think about your antivirus. You probably, when you downloaded it, you were offered a few versions. Okay? Again, it's quite easy. Think about the company that developed that antivirus. So you can first develop an antivirus that can protect your computer from 1,000 different viruses, and you can call it the premium version. And then you can actually create another version, reducing some of its capabilities. So we'll call it the student version, and that will protect our computer from only 500 viruses. And then we can create even another version, which is just free of charge. We want as many people to try our product, so it will protect their computer from only 100 different viruses. So it's quite easy. Somebody created a very complicated product and then reduced a few of its capabilities or functions or features and created a mid-range product, and then reduced a few more capabilities and created a cheap product. So actually it allows you to earn the maximum you can from the rich people, and also to earn the maximum you can from people that can't really afford your product, let's say students and so on. So you can earn from the rich, you can earn from the poor, and you can help people fulfill their needs better. So let's talk about versionings. You have to actually think very carefully about your product when you want to create versions, and think about the dimensions in your product. Your product has or service. Your product or service has a lot of dimensions, and you have to think about all these dimensions and find a dimension for which some people are willing to pay a lot, and some people actually are not willing to pay that much. They are willing to pay much less. I'll give you an example. For many, many years, publishers of books, actually, they had the hard copy that was quite expensive. And after a while, say half a year or so on, they actually published a cheap version, the paperback. So if you really want to read the new Harry Potter today, because it was just published today, of course you will pay the full price, say $20. But if it's not that important for you to read it a year later or half a year later, you will be able to get the paperback, say, for $10. So the versioning dimension here is time. Usually information or information goods, and actually digital goods are information goods, usually information worth the most when it's fresh, when it's new. So you can create a version with new information that's quite expensive, and another version with not so fresh information that will be cheaper. Another example is, as I said before, features and functions. You can think about your product, you can sell the full package for, say, X amount of dollars, and then remove or reduce a few of its features and functions or information and sell it for half X cost. So actually many versions of products that you see are of this type. The full version and partial version with more or less features and functions. Another way actually to have a versioning is to think about take for example pictures. You can buy images on the internet, you can buy pictures. Many of them have, of course, intellectual property rights. And if you have a website that was built for a business, it's actually important that you don't use images or pictures that belongs to someone else. So you can sell images at high resolution, medium resolution, and low resolution. And if you think about that product, the picture was taken only once. But then somebody played a bit with Photoshop or any other software, reduced resolution, and we have a medium, and reduced resolution again, and we have low, and you can actually sell them at 3 different price points. And also here, some people are willing to pay a lot for a high resolution picture, some are not willing to pay that much and will actually be satisfied with the low resolution product. So again, how do I create versions from my digital good or my digital service? I actually observe, I analyze my product, I look at different dimensions like the time dimension, like the number of features and functions, like the amount of information I give, like the image resolution, like the ease of use. Some products will have advertisements, others will actually be without advertisements in the premium version. And I create versions that some people will be willing to pay a lot for, some will be willing to pay less. Practical tip, if you do that, just write as many ideas as possible, and then at the end, choose the idea that fits you most. So at the beginning, you can brainstorm, you can raise as many ideas as possible, just write it all down, and then at the end, maybe you should vote, maybe you should think, but choose the idea that is most promising. See you in the next video.